This contains theories based upon evidence gathered from the Dragon Ball anime, manga, and guides, as well as my own headcanon. I was late to the party. Back in middle school, everyone and their mother knew about Dragon Ball except for me. Over time, I eventually learned about the Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, Namek, all of the enemies, and all of the Z fighters. Now, did I know details? No! Now, did I know details? No! But I eventually did learn these details back in 2013 whenever I sat down and watched Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT. And I must say, I was quite impressed. As I was watching the series, I got to the artificial human arc and got a chance to see Vegeta, Trunks, and even Goku and Gohan ascend past the normal limitations of a Super Saiyan. But at the time, I didn't exactly know what the hell was going on. This might be the same case for you. Long story short, I soon learned of the different grades of Super Saiyan. Yes, there are multiple levels of Super Saiyan before you get to Super Saiyan 2.
What the fuck even is this?
So in this video, I'm going to explain my theory as to what the grades of Super Saiyan are and how to ascend.
Yeah, go ahead and tingle that back for me.
So before we can even talk about what Super Saiyan is, first we need to understand what Ki is, because Ki is basically the foundation of every single fight and transformation in Dragon Ball. Without further ado, my homeboy Gohan's gonna drop some dank knowledge on you on what Ki is and how the hell you even use it.
Run that shit!
いいかい？静かに落ち着いて。ゆっくり自分の中の力を引き出すんだ。
That makes so much fucking sense!
All jokes aside, Ki is basically spiritual energy that flows through the body and can be formed into energy blast and can be used for barriers and can be used for flying and just it has so many different uses. The more Ki a warrior has, the stronger that warrior is and the faster that warrior is. As a warrior, you have to control your own Ki.
火のコントロール?
If you don't have enough Ki, then you're not going to have the strength, speed, and sharpness to be able to take down your opponent. If you have too much Ki, then, well, Frieza and Frost in Determinate Power Cell against Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and Kaioken times 3 and 4 Goku from the Saiyan arc all swelled up due to too much Ki. You can imagine your body as a balloon and the Ki inside your body as air. Too much air and your body is going to inflate
Or just blow the fuck up!
Ki control also involves your energy blast. In Determinate Power, Frieza unleashed a planet-busting energy blast against God of Destruction Top. Top unleashed a very, very tiny ball of energy of his own. And that ball of energy completely decimated Frieza's ball of energy.
And then Frieza got fucking bodied, nigga.
This also explains why every single Ki blast from the Saiyan arc to the Buu arc is the exact same size. Why is this Kamehameha so much more powerful than this Kamehameha? Well, I would like to think that perhaps every single energy blast has varying densities. And so, in order to prevent your energy blast from being as big as the fucking solar system, you have to control your Ki enough to compress it down to a reasonable size. Just like a pressure washer. The more narrow the stream of water, the more powerful that water is. The more narrow and compressed your energy is, the more powerful it is. So far, based off of my explanation of ki, it seems like any warrior can increase their ki to as high as they want it to be. However, due to the limitations of said warrior's body, that can prove quite disastrous. Genki is basically health. So if a warrior is in a weakened state, that means that they're low on Genki, meaning that they cannot tap into as much ki as they normally could. When Vegeta turned into his Ozaru form, and he crushed the living hell out of Goku, Goku could not draw forth any more ki after he gave Vegeta the weasel's last fart.
日立の最後っぺってやつだよ。これでホラには鼻くそをほじる力も残っちゃいねえや。
Sustaining damage, using a significant amount of ki, and contributing to the Genki Dama all drain Genki. On the other hand, food, rest, and senzu all restore Genki. I think it's also worth noting that ki is generally white. Vegeta's ki originally was blue, possibly because he was evil, and some attacks have varying colors. So, for example, the Makanko Sapo is yellow and purple, Vegeta's garlic cannon is purple, and Goku's Kamehameha is blue. And tying it back to the topic of this video, the Super Saiyan's ki is yellow or golden. And this leads me into the very foundation of my theory, a special type of ki that I have come up with to explain the grades of Super Saiyan. I call it Saya ki.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
So we know that in order to turn into a Super Saiyan, a Saiyan must first have a high enough battle power, and he must have a certain amount of S cells. Whenever he undergoes the transformation, the amount of S cells explodes, and he undergoes a mutation. When this mutation occurs, the user taps into Saya ki, and it rapidly fills the body's ki stream. The Saya ki flowing through the user's body causes him to have golden hair, blue eyes, and a golden ki emitting from his body that feels completely different from any other ki that has been sensed before. This is shown in both the anime and the manga at the beginning of the artificial human arc. At that point in time, the only three people that know what Saya ki feels like is Gohan, King Kai, and Frieza. And Gohan immediately thinks that Trunks is Goku whenever Gohan feels Trunks' Saya ki.
ナメック星の時と同じじゃないの。
お父さんだ。
え、何？
あの時のお父さんと同じ木だ。
じゃあ
スーパーサイヤ人バカな。
Saya ki feels completely different from regular ki. What makes this transformation hard to sustain is the fact that the amount of Saya ki flowing through the body is 50 times as much as the regular base ki flowing through the body. Not only that, but this Saya ki is stamina draining, rage inducing, and allows maliciousness to creep into the user's heart. It's also possible that this Saya ki is a lot more unstable and furious than normal ki. So how do you ascend as a Super Saiyan? As a regular warrior, if you want to raise your battle power, all you have to do is take your base ki and raise it. But if you want to ascend as a Super Saiyan, there's more to it than just powering up. You have to raise your Saya ki. Now, tapping into your Saya ki is already difficult in and of itself. So, raising your Saya ki is far more difficult. And it shows whenever Vegeta and Trunks try to ascend to higher levels of the Super Saiyan transformation.
トランクス？
Think of raising your base ki as adding to your power, while increasing your Saya ki is multiplying your power. This is where the different levels of Super Saiyan come in. Goku's false Super Saiyan transformation from the Lord Slug movie could have been a result from not enough S cells, or not a high enough battle power. Saya ki was present, however, because his hair shot up and his aura was golden. And on top of that, King Kai noted that this could have been the legendary Super Saiyan. But we all know that his eyes were not blue and his hair was not golden. Therefore, this could not have been the complete Super Saiyan transformation. Super Saiyan Grade 1, or Super Saiyan, is the transformation that Goku undergone on Namek. This is whenever the hair spikes up and turns golden, the aura changes color, and the eyes are blue. In addition to this, your battle power is increased by 50 times. Super Saiyan Grade 2 is basically a level of Super Saiyan beyond normal Super Saiyan. In order to achieve this level, all you have to do is output more Saya ki than normal. To achieve Super Saiyan Grade 3, you output even more Saya ki. And then for Super Saiyan Grade 4, it's even more Saya ki. So basically, the more Saya ki you output, the more power you'll gain, all the way up to Super Saiyan 3. The amount of Saya ki being outputted for Grade 5 is so astronomical that lightning surrounds the user. And for Super Saiyan 3, the lightning grows. Not only does the lightning grow, however, the hair does too, in exchange for the hair on your face. And you also get your pupils back. As for Broly and Kale, I think the reason why their hair is green is because of the amount of S cells in their body. In the recent Broly movie, Broly goes Super Saiyan with the golden hair, and then as the fight progresses, he powers up to full power and then his hair turns green. Perhaps the more S cells you have, the more likely your hair will turn green. So during his fight, the amount of S cells in his body likely increased.
That makes so much fucking sense!
As for Super Saiyan God, if a Saiyan taps into God Ki, the God Ki will make his hair turn red, as well as his eyes and his aura. And obviously God Ki cannot be sensed by mortals. Whenever this God Ki is mixed with Saya Ki, then the result is the Ki that you get with Super Saiyan Blue.
That seems to be quite the transformation.
It's also possible that Super Saiyan Blue evolution is basically Vegeta raising his Saya Ki, which basically makes the transformation Super Saiyan Blue Grade 2. And yeah, that's really my whole theory.
Wait, is that the end?
No, I'm not done yet. There's a lot that can be explained with my theory, and a lot that can be debunked with my theory as well. For example, why does Vegeta's muscles grow in Grade 2? Why does Trunks' muscles grow in Grade 2 and 3? Why did Goku's muscles grow in Grade 2 and 3 in the Room of Spirit and Time? Now the answer has already been presented. The more ki that flows through your body, the more your body's going to swell up. The more Saya ki that flows through your body, the more your body's going to swell up. And this ties into something that I call ki capacity. So ki capacity is the body's limit to how much ki it can hold before swelling up or exploding.
爆発したヤコンがなんで爆発したの
奴の光のエネルギーを限界を超えて食べ過ぎたから。
Side note, it could be possible that the way in which Vegeta's dirty fireworks and Frieza's death cycle bomb work is basically they pump a bunch of ki into their opponent's body to the point in which it goes over their ki capacity and they just blow up. One thing that's always bothered me is, if Goku's able to go Super Saiyan, which is a 50 times multiplier, why can't he use Kaioken times 50? Ki capacity. When you undergo the Super Saiyan transformation, your ki capacity raises enough to where it can hold all of that Saya ki flowing through your body. However, Kaioken does not increase your ki capacity. it only increases your base ki. Therefore, the body has no place to put that extra ki. And this is the reason why Kaioken is never used with Super Saiyan. If you were to use Kaioken with Super Saiyan, you would die the moment you executed the transformation. So this is the case. How are you able to execute Kaioken with Super Saiyan Blue? Well, it's stated that Super Saiyan Blue is a combination of strength and a calm mind with proper ki control. So Saiyaki is generally unstable, but when mixed with the God Ki in Super Saiyan Blue, it's now a lot calmer. So Kaioken is able to be executed. Depending on who you are and how durable your body is determines your body's ki capacity. Super Saiyan Grade 2 Vegeta was not able to hold all of that ki inside of his body, so as a result, his body inflated.
That boy thick!
But if Goku, after emerging from the realm of spirit and time, were to go Super Saiyan Grade 2, he would be just fine. In fact, that's exactly what he did. Think about it. If Goku's maximum level at that time was Grade 4, then what's half of 4? 2. How much power did he use whenever he powered up for Karin? Half. So a lot of people think that Super Saiyan Grade 2 is basically the level of Super Saiyan in which your muscles are bulky, but not too bulky to where you sacrifice speed. People tend to believe this because whenever Vegeta went Grade 2, his muscles were bulky. This is only the case for Super Saiyan Grade 2 Vegeta at that given point in time, because his body's ki capacity could not hold all of that forced outputted Saiyaki. So, of course, his body got bulkier and his hair got spikier, because his body had no place to put that ki. A lot of people also believe that Grade 3 is 1, the strongest Super Saiyan of all 5 grades, and 2, if you're Grade 3, that automatically means that you sacrifice your speed for power. But these two claims are absolute bullshit. First of all, the only reason why Trunks was bulky was because the same reason why Vegeta was bulky. Neither of them have the ki capacity to hold that much Saiyaki in their bodies. So naturally, they're gonna inflate like freaking balloons. In the case of Trunks, however, the amount of Saiyaki flowing through his body was so far beyond his ki capacity that the inflation of his muscles actually caused him to slow down. Now, some people claim that Grade 3 is more powerful than Grade 5 because Cell claimed that Trunks had far surpassed Cell's own strength. However, the evidence presented in the story does not line up with what Cell claimed. Super Saiyan Grade 5 Gohan delivered 2 Iron Fist blows to Cell's guts, and Cell was knocked down immediately. Super Saiyan Grade 3 Trunks delivered several blows to Perfect Cell, and Cell seemingly walked away unscathed. If Grade 3 is as powerful as people think, Cell should have sustained far more damage than what he did. Also, people tend to forget that Cell was not even at his full power when fighting Trunks.
なあカリン様、こっから見ててセルの強さは大体わかったろ？
真の力を見せてはおらんので何とも言えんが大体の予想はつく。
He wasn't even at his full power when fighting Grade 4 Goku. Not only that, but rather than Trunks bodying Cell, Cell was the one that was bodying Trunks.
Don't tell me that shit's stronger than Grade 5.
Another claim that people seem to make is that whenever Trunks was fighting Vegeta in the Goku Black arc, Trunks went from Grade 5 to Grade 3. However, this is not the case. We know that Trunks started off as Grade 5 because of the lightning. However, according to my theory, it doesn't matter which level you ascend to. If your body's ki capacity cannot handle that level of power, it's gonna swell up. So it's possible that in that moment, Trunks actually ascended to Grade 6, or 7, or 8, or even 9. People also say that Grade 4 is the exact same as Grade 1, but without the stamina drainage, which is absolute bullshit. When Goku and Gohan emerged from the Realm of Spirit and Time, they were in Grade 1. When Goku powered up for Karin, he only used half of his power. So if Goku was able to go up to Grade 4, then half of his power is Grade 2. So that's the amount of power that Goku used. At this point in time, Gohan was confused because he thought, well shit, if that's only half of my dad's power, shouldn't there be more? Isn't my dad more powerful than this? This implies that this is the first time that Goku went Super Saiyan Grade 1 ever since him and Gohan decided to stay in the Grade 1 state for a long period of time. Even whenever Goku went Grade 4, Gohan still thought that Goku wasn't taking the fight seriously because that was the first time that Gohan saw Goku's true power.
どうだごはん、さっきの父さんとセルとの戦い、すごすぎてついていけねえと思ったか？思わなかった。だってお父さんもセルも思いっきり戦ってなかったでしょ。セルはどうか知らんが、父さんは思いっきりやってた。つまりおめえには手を抜いているように感じたんだろ。
そうなのか、ごはん。
はい。
And at this point, even if Goku and Gohan were to go Grade 2 or 3, they would not swell up at all because their bodies are conditioned to hold that much Saiyaki that comes with Grades 2 and 3. It's also worth noting that this is most likely the standard level of Super Saiyan that is used in every single battle to this day. This is proven in Vegeta's fight with Kaba. Vegeta himself states that he's evenly matched with Kaba in their base form, and there is nothing that happens during their fight that contradicts this statement. So if Super Saiyan multiplies your battle power by 50 times, then naturally, if both of them were to go Super Saiyan, they should still be evenly matched. However, Kaba delivers one final blow to Vegeta whenever they're both in their Super Saiyan states, and Vegeta completely tanks the attack. This shows that Vegeta is in Super Saiyan Grade 4, and Kaba, being that it was his first time, was in Super Saiyan Grade 1. So of course the question is, why is Grade 4 the level of Super Saiyan that is chosen to be the new standard? And the answer ties back into ki control and ki capacity. Grade 5 is such a high level and requires so much outputted Saiyaki. Lightning actually surrounds the user and your power increases exponentially as well as your speed. This is a level that is pretty hard to achieve and maintain. In order to achieve this level, one must not only increase their Saiyaki, but they must also compress their Saiyaki so that it can fit within their ki capacity. Caulifla had the ability to ascend to Grade 5. However, she didn't know how to. So what she ended up doing was raising her Saiyaki. But raising your Saiyaki can only get you up to about Grade 3, Grade 4, you know, around there, right? But if you want to go higher than that, you have to actually compress your Saiyaki so that it will fit within your body's ki capacity. The compression of Saiyaki within your body is similar to the compression of ki blast as stated earlier. Once Caulifla figured this out by observing Goku, she was able to ascend to Grade 5. Don't get me wrong though, regardless of how high or low your ki capacity is, if your body is not conditioned to handle that level of Saiyaki, whether it's compressed or not, your body is going to have to deal with some major repercussions. I believe that because of Gohan's potential, he was the only person in the Cell games who was able to compress his Saiyaki and ascend to Grade 5. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So, to recap, in order to transform into a Super Saiyan, you have to tap into Saiyaki, and if you want to ascend as a Super Saiyan, you have to raise your Saiyaki. And if you want to go way beyond the normal limitations of a Super Saiyan, you might have to compress your Saiyaki and then raise it. What you shouldn't do as a Super Saiyan is use Kaioken or else you'll blow the fuck up. Also, if you don't have enough Genki, you're not going to be able to sustain the Super Saiyan transformation. Every use of ki requires Genki, including transformations. So if you're in a weakened state, you are not going to be able to sustain or even execute the Super Saiyan transformation or any of the other higher variants. And that is the conclusion to my Super Saiyan grade theory.
Oh shit, I forgot Rosette.
This is only the case with him because his Saya ki was far surpassed due to more outputted ki.